Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us today. My name is Troy Bossard. I'm the Vice President and co-founder at the University of North Florida Blockchain Club. Today, we're going to be hosting a Twitter Spaces shining a spotlight on student and recently graduated student entrepreneurs in and out of the crypto space. This event is being held in partnership with the Blockchain Acceleration Foundation, represented here today by our friend Noor. For our distinguished guests, we have Mathis from Cryptosphere. He's the co-founder of Morpho Labs. We have Bennett Thompson from Northeastern University, who is the co-founder of Blockbeam.io. We have Bihan Mahadewa. He's a 19-year-old founder and entrepreneur with one successful startup exit already, over 100,000 students on Udemy, among many other accolades. And our friend Pablo Denu, who is an entrepreneur and successful business owner from our club here at the University of North Florida. We're going to be talking today with each of our guests about their journey into the blockchain space, their experiences as either student entrepreneurs and or their transitions into entrepreneurship after leaving college. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining us here today. If we could start out with each of you guys giving kind of a brief introduction of yourself. We're going to do this for the speakers as well as our guests. And I'll go ahead and hand it off to Noor to go first.
Yeah, thanks, Troy. Hey, guys. Really excited for this Twitter space. My name is Noor. I'm head of growth at BAF, and I'm president of the Blockchain Club at the University of Rochester. And I'm just going to start off with some background about our BAF programs. We are a nonprofit that starts university-accredited blockchain courses. We build projects in the space and connect our members to opportunities in the industry, place them at jobs. And we are now a DAO that is governed by the leaders and the members of our affiliated university blockchain clubs. We recently onboarded UNF Blockchain Club, and we're really excited about that. And yeah, we organize weekly events, both technical and non-technical, and we create educational programs that are designed to get you guys jobs. So yeah, if you're interested in BAF, please follow us on Twitter and make sure to fill out the link in our Twitter bio to become an official BAF member. And yeah, thanks, Troy. Thank you guys for coming.
All right. You want to go next, Bennett?
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks again for hosting this, Troy and Noor. It's really great to see you guys highlighting other students, and hopefully I could get to meet all the rest of you guys. But anyways, my name is Bennett Thompson. I'm currently a second year at Northeastern, studying computer science and finance. I kind of got into crypto back in 2017. I did 2 gap years and went to England and was trying to open a bank account and found out that it was very difficult to open a bank account without like having residency in a country. So that's when I kind of went down Bitcoin and Ethereum rabbit hole, and here I am today. So a little bit about Blockbeam is we are also similar like BAF, but our educational content is more for applied learning and networking. So we take in different student cohorts and then put them through like a 4-week hyper accelerated kind of speaker series where their students are in the room networking with people that are kind of lined up to what they're interested in. So we're partnered with Algorand. We're doing a program on sustainability. And then at the end of the 4 weeks, students are paired and pitching new blockchain applications. So really showing that like proof of application that you're able to apply your learnings after the time. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, how about you, Mathis? Would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. So hello, everyone. So I'm 21, second year student at Telecom Superi, an engineering school in France. And yeah, I'm co-founder of Morpho Labs, a company created in summer of 2021, which is doing a DeFi protocol on peer-to-peer lending. I can talk a bit about that later. And I'm also the vice president of Cryptosphere, which is the biggest French student association working on blockchain. And at Cryptosphere, we are doing some trainings, a lot of writing, software development with hackathons and small experiments, and also organizing events with the biggest actor of the crypto space in France. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, awesome. Thanks for introducing yourself, Mathis. Next up, we have Bihan. If you'd like to say a little bit about yourself and what you're up to.
Yep, thanks, Troy, for organizing this. And so I'm doing my final semester in a master's program, and I have an exit in an edtech startup about a year ago. And I'm very new to the blockchain space. I've been here for like 6 to 8 months, but my company is Metana. We provide a 4-month bootcamp program for any Web2 engineer or student to become blockchain engineers. So we work with the Solana blockchain and the Ethereum Foundation directly, and we train them in 4 months and get them jobs in the Web3 space.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like a great business. We've had some time to talk about that and explore that as well when we were in Denver. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for introducing yourself, Bihan. And then the last introduction we'll get is from Pablo, who is a member at UNF Blockchain and also a student entrepreneur as well. I had to invite him to speak. I don't think he was brought up as a speaker yet. Hey, Pablo. Hey, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself if you're able to. Oh, okay. We'll give him an opportunity to do that whenever he's able to get his mic and stuff working. I think he's a little bit new to Twitter. Oh, there we go. Hey, Pablo.
Hey, guys. So my name is Pablo Danu. I'm originally from France. I'm a computer science major, as well as a member of the University of North Florida Blockchain Club. I founded a company that links just wholesalers directly to major retailers called 100 Acre Wholesale. We do general merchandise, appliances, all that. Anyways, I'm also very involved in the music scene. I produce, sing, and film videos. And on the financial aspect of things, I'm pretty well versed in anything stock market related. In terms of crypto, I've been involved since 2016, although I just recently started diving into the technical aspect of the world, such as how the blockchain works. I'm always looking to expand my knowledge, embark on new business adventures, and that's why I'm here today, to learn, ask questions, and answer any if you guys have any. And pensez aussi, je parle français, donc si tu as un problème à dire quelque chose, dis-moi et je peux traduire. That was just a note to Mathis saying I can translate for him if he has a hard time. Enchanté.
Wow, that's awesome. Hey, thank you guys so much, everybody, for introducing yourselves. We've got some really great speakers here. I see we have some people starting to pour in as well. So yeah, I want to thank you guys all for coming. And I guess that'll kind of move us into the main topic of conversation here, which is student entrepreneurs and blockchain, which is kind of like a merger of two different fields. There's a lot of unique aspects and things to be said about being a student in university. And there's a lot of interesting things about the blockchain space, as we all know. We have that common interest here. So I kind of like to ask you guys, what has your experience been like balancing school and being an entrepreneur at the same time? Like, has that been difficult for you? What have been the biggest challenges? Do you feel like it's actually helped you in order to be more successful? I'd love to get anyone who wants to speak on that, where your experience has been like being a student entrepreneur specifically. I think that's a really interesting thing.
I can start, I guess. Yeah, so I'm still a student at Northeastern. I co-founded the blockchain club at the school, and I also am running a startup. So it is definitely overwhelming at times. I guess the benefits are just you really have really good time management skills. But I don't know. Like with my experience, I've definitely prioritized the business and the club more than school, which I don't know. Might not be the best long-term decision, but I don't know. I kind of feel like school will always be there, but we're kind of in this emerging industry, and we have to be ready to take advantage of whatever opportunities are sitting out in front of us. But definitely a little bit stressful at times as far as managing everything.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody else want to share their experience as a student entrepreneur? I know I can definitely vouch for Bennett in terms of trying to manage multiple different things. You kind of have to do a value allocation, right? What am I going to gain the most benefit from? That's why sometimes you see some of the biggest companies that have ever been started have been, the founders dropped out of college because they're like, oh, I think this thing that I'm working on is going to be bigger than the value I can get from being in school. But that's not the case for a lot of people. A lot of people finish school, transition into their startup, and go from there. Anybody else want to share their experience? Pablo, Mathis, Bihan. I know you guys are all student entrepreneurs. So.
I'll say a little something. Hold on one second.
He asked about you.
Okay. Yeah, so kind of coming off what Bennett said and Troy said, being a student as well as an entrepreneur, it can be quite challenging in terms of time management, especially when you end up prioritizing your business. But at one point you have to make a choice, and like Troy said, some riskier paths can bring greater rewards. But everything is doable. I like focusing on many things at once. For some reason, it makes me just feel more aligned in my path, and feel like if I'm not doing all this at the same time, I'm not advancing. So it's just try to do as much as possible. The school is always going to be there. You don't have to take 5-6 classes a semester. Take it easy, get it done, focus on your business. You feel is real right at the moment. So it's all about balancing. And the school is a nice place to meet people too, for the business. A lot of opportunity, a lot of young creative minds as well that want to get out of the 9-to-5 workforce eventually. So it's a great environment to be in if you want to start businesses, and definitely recommend school. That's about it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with like all three of you as well, because it's about like priority, and like you can't always to like aim to get like really good grades as well, because I became a part of the Founder Institute program, and they require a lot of tons of hours put into the startup. So definitely time management and prioritizing, but you can't always expect to do the best version of yourself at school when you're running a startup.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of speaks to the complexity of balancing school and work. And I know probably a lot of us here, um, since we are involved in, working, our businesses as well as being students, I have to imagine a certain amount of that is like being efficient with your time as well. I know we're sitting here doing this on the weekends, I know probably most of us are the type of people to be putting in work when other people are hanging out and stuff. But it is a really rewarding thing. So. Mathis, I don't think we got to hear from you. Like, what's been your experience as a?
I agree with all of you, and I think the thing is that you should like handle the way that of course you will have some time issues running a business and going to school, but you should also focus on the benefits of being at school. Like Pablo said, it's a great way to meet very smart people in school, especially in a big school. So you can really like a lot of companies are paying a lot to have an access to these students, and you have a really close access to them. So yeah. Manage your time, and also focus on the benefits of being a student while being an entrepreneur. And for recruitment, I think it's really good. At Morpho Labs, most of our hires are from school, from the co-founders. So yeah, I think it's really cool.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you guys for sharing kind of your perspective on student entrepreneurship in terms of time management and mindset and stuff like that. The next question I'd like to ask you guys: how did you get involved in the blockchain space, and or how did you come up with your idea? What was the story of the founding of your businesses that you got involved in as students? If you would like to share that, because I think that's really interesting. How does a great idea begin? And how did you kind of like begin to see the vision in that? What inspired you to create your business?
Yeah, I could probably go first. So, me and my co-founder, we wanted to hire blockchain engineers about 6 months ago, and it was a pain in the ass. You cannot really find really good blockchain engineers, and the demand is so high. And we started talking with other people in the space who are looking for engineers, and they're like, "No, we cannot find engineers. We just went and learned blockchain engineering ourselves to create our solutions." So we found this problem actually, and then we started talking with a lot of people in the Web2 space who wants to become blockchain engineers, but realized they didn't have enough educational resources or a pathway to jump. So we were like, all right, let's pitch this gap, because this is a big gap. Everyone wants to hire blockchain engineers, and people in Web2 wants to become blockchain engineers. So that was kind of the start for us.
And you've actually got a really interesting story that you told me before about how you started your first startup. You guys might not know, but Bihan started his first startup at 15 years old, which actually became pretty successful. So, if you wouldn't mind sharing the story of that, I think everybody here would be really interested in it. I know I was like mind blown whenever you first told me the first time. So,
Yeah, so I'm originally from Sri Lanka, and I was a lot passionate in the education industry. And I created a simple mobile application to help students practice for their competitive exams online, and put it in the App Store when I was like 15, 14-ish, somewhere around. And it really got some organic growth, I would say. And anyways, fast forward 2.5 years later, I got the opportunity to serve for 100,000 students in Sri Lanka, and make an exit to one of the biggest educational VCs back in Sri Lanka. And now I'm in LA working in Web3. So.
yeah, and if I'm remembering correctly, it was for like a grade 5 entrance exam, right?
It
For
is,
like
yeah.
grade 5 students in Sri Lanka. The parents over there take it very seriously, so it's got a lot of traction, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people in Asia, education is the number one priority, and whatever you do in education, if you do it right, there is a lot of big traction you can have on, I would say.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Yeah, so Mathis, Bennett, Pablo, do you guys mind sharing kind of like your origin story? How you came up with what inspired you to your business idea, how it came about, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so kind of going off what he said, it's whenever you start a business, it kind of all starts from solving a problem. So you identify a problem and you try to find a solution. In my case, the problem number one was I wanted money. Problem number two was there's a lot of so what I do is wholesale. So there's a lot of people that are trying to get the best deals on product to sell in their stores, and before you'd have to go through a very tedious project. A very tedious what's the word? A tremendous amount of work. To source directly from wholesalers, to source directly from, for example, Target or Walmart and all that. So I kind of bridged the gap, and I found a way to establish binding contracts between my company and Target, Walmart, Amazon, to purchase their returns. So 30% of everything that's purchased in America is returned. So what I do is I purchase these returns, and I offer kind of a bridge for small entrepreneurs, for example, to purchase a truckload of merchandise to resell it. And yeah, it started about 1.5 years ago, and I've just been growing, ups and downs always, as entrepreneurship always goes. Eventually started gaining some traction, and we've been doing a lot of sales to South America, around the United States, to bin stores, little retailers, and yeah. But the biggest thing was bridging that gap and offering a new channel for people to source merchandise directly from bigger companies, from major retailers. And like you said, it's all about finding a problem, analyzing it, and offering a solution. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and if I'm remembering correct, I remember hearing you say something that you did $1 million in sales, and if I remember also, you started out literally with a lawnmower, mowing lawns, right? And then you saved up for a box truck, and then it just kind of you started doing right, and then it just kind of exploded from there.
I was mowing lawns. I had dropped out of school for whatever reason. And yeah, I started off mowing lawns, made $30, rented out a lawnmower at Home Depot, and then I returned it. You know, had $200, $300 built up, and then I bought my first pallet. And then I said, "What is this guy doing that I can't do?" And then I started the same business as he did, and I just excelled in it. And we did, I think last May we did around 270,000 in the net profit, but in sales. And we've been averaging, sometimes 50K, 250, but overall over that year, almost $1 million. Actually, a little bit over $1.1 million in sales. But yeah, it all started from nothing, and that's how it starts most of the time.
Yeah, that's really inspiring, man. Like literally mowing lawns to $1 million plus in sales in like such a short amount of time. I think that's really speaks to the power of motivation and determination and entrepreneurship and stuff. It's really awesome.
You kind of manifest it, once you start putting yourself in that space of other people that think the same way as you do. Everyone is trying to excel at what they do, and once you start thinking clearly, solving other people's problems, doing favors, helping people out, people help you back, and the universe kind of gives you back what you put in. So it's all about also keeping like a very clear mind, good intentions, being very fair, transparent. That'll always help you in business, and that's what I did, and the world gave back to me.
That's awesome, man. Hey, thank you for sharing that story.
Yes, sir.
I think we have Bennett and Mathis.
Yeah. So on my side, it's a bit different, I think, because so Morpho is a kind of more deep tech project. So last year I was the president of the branch of Cryptosphere in my school, and I met Paul, which is another co-founder of Morpho Labs, and he's also a student, and he was looking for co-founders, basically, really interested in entrepreneurship, and he was like close to a researcher, computer science researcher, that had some idea to improve DeFi. One of them was Mangrove, so he co-founded his own project, and we started working on Morpho. So which is, like I said, some peer-to-peer lending on top of a pool. And trying to do some research on it, development, and that's how it started. Then founded 2 other co-founders, and then that's pretty much it.
So Morpho Labs I thought was pretty interesting, right? So basically the way that lending and borrowing works on blockchain right now, it's through a pool model. Most places operate through a pool model, so it's pooled lending and borrowing, and that allows the borrower and the lender to have immediate liquidity on their loans, basically.
Exactly.
And what I thought was interesting about Morpho Labs is you guys basically, and you did mention this a little bit, like you built a peer-to-peer layer on top of the pool lending so that you can offer, because peer-to-peer lending, if you have perfect matches and lending and borrowing, can offer higher rates and cheaper borrowing. And so if it's available, if the peer-to-peer lending is available, then it'll operate off that, offering higher rates, but you also get the liquidity of pool lending since it defaults to that if the peer-to-peer transaction is not available, something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Nice speech. Yeah, you have to understand that pool model is really cool for liquidity, because you can access your liquidity at every time. You can borrow at every time and withdraw at every time. But there is also an issue, which is the capital of the model. A lot of capital is sleeping on the pool, And as you can see, on compound or AAV, there is a spread between supplier's rate and borrower's rate. And if you are matched peer-to-peer, you don't have this spread. So all of what is paid by the borrower is earned by the supplier. And yeah, that's it. That's why we made this peer-to-peer layer on top of a pool to access the liquidity. Like you have the same liquidity. So what Morpho is for, like the same user than AAV and Compound, because it's exactly the same in terms of lending, borrowing, liquidation, but you can get better rates if you are matched peer-to-peer.
Yeah, I thought that was really innovative when I was reading over your guys' website and stuff. I was like kind of mind blown when I understood exactly how it worked. I thought it seems like so obvious, and I'm surprised someone didn't do it before. So you guys were on the ball on that one. That's awesome.
There are some thank you. There are some technical issues, of course, in order to build a peer-to-peer lending market. But yeah, a lot of people that we talked to said like, why AAV and Compound didn't do it before, and we can explain why, because there is some little issues that you have to fix in order for your protocol to work.
Hey, Mathis.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, what are your so this business, it's already established. What are your future goals for this business? What's something that you're currently working on to either expand or either concretize the business, the idea, or?
Yeah. So the protocol is not live. So we made the first fundraising in September of 2021 in order to hire some more people to pay for some audits. And we are planning to launch this summer. So this is the first step, the first big step, I would say. And then, so this is the first version of Morpho. And then we have already planned to do a second version, which is more complicated in the way that the first version of Morpho chooses the rate for you. So you have a better rate than on the pool, but you cannot choose it. And then we'll move progressively, like Uniswap V3, to offer and demand-based market for lending, but still with the pool as a I don't know if you see where we are going, but I think the whole DeFi is going this direction, and this is also. But for now, we are obviously focusing on the V1 security audits and the launch. And by the way,
that's
if I can, we will be posting this week a lot of job offers. So if people are interested, thank you.
That's really interesting, man.
Follow Morpho Labs account. Thank you.
Yeah, so you're looking for more individuals to join the team in terms of, well, maybe not the team, but to work for you. Individuals that are well versed in the programming, the blockchain, the building space of everything.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're about to this summer drop the official version, the V1, and then to choose the rates at which they want the returns for the peer-to-peer lending.
Yeah, exactly.
And
you can think of it as Uniswap V3. I don't know if you see, but as a liquidity provider, you can choose like a part of the order book, or kind of something like that.
That's really interesting, man. It's amazing that no one thought of that before. It seems so simple. Most of the most simple things, most of the most successful things are they start off as relatively simple concepts, and I really I really like what you guys are doing. It's really interesting. Do you guys have investors? Are you guys looking for investors? Or how are you doing the marketing of it? Are you just going to let it get some organic growth? Or are you pushing out your project to people?
Really. For the fundraising, we get to funds and VC in order to pitch the project. The other part is in order to have some feedback on the front end and feedback on different things, we need to build a community, even if the product is not live. And this is done by some article on Medium, Twitter, etc. By the way, there is a testnet version of the protocol which is live on Mumbai testnet, and if someone is interested to test it and give some feedback, I think it would be interesting.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
I think we still didn't hear from Bennett. Just curious, Bennett, how did you come up with the idea of Blockbeam? What was kind of the origin story of that? You know, how did that come about?
Yeah, sure. So like the main two problems we were solving, first is that we mostly focus on business side jobs right now at Blockbeam. So on business side talent for jobs in crypto and blockchain, 98% of jobs are through referrals. So students like me, you, and everyone else, like running our blockchain clubs is really great, but there's no real way to set us apart. So like, especially in the emerging industry, like everyone kind of has the same background, whether to have like the same experiences. Maybe one person's launched like an NFT project or some kind of other project. But for the most part, everyone's resumes and everyone's like kind of talent is just put in this like a stack, and you're just kind of hoping and praying that you get that job. Whereas in crypto, everything is kind of based off referrals. So, especially for student, like, so we were targeting students that are in blockchain clubs to kind of go through our programs to expand their network and then have them pitch this applied learning project that kind of differentiates them. So throughout our smaller cohorts, we're able to pick up some like smaller different skills that aren't showcased on a regular resume. Like, how are you, is your leadership skills good? Like, are you able to communicate? Are you showing up on time? Are you able to contribute? All these little things that people look for when hiring people. Are you curious? Are you like self-motivated to go do things? Whereas traditionally hiring through like a resume, it's kind of like that 6-month test period of, okay, is this person actually all they say they are? So that's kind of where we come from. So we're kind of focusing more on the business side, helping students advance their careers in blockchain.
And do you guys focus mainly on? I remember a few weeks back I was looking at some of your materials. Do you guys mainly focus on non-technical talent, like in terms of the leadership stuff, like you're speaking, or are you guys working on technical products and stuff now as well?
Yeah. So right now our main focus is non-technical talent. We are expanding into Web 2 to Web 3. Still working on some partnerships and curriculum. So definitely follow me or follow the Blockbeam Twitter for updates on those cohorts.
I think you, Bennett, you and Bihan have some intersectionality in terms of your business models. You guys are both running education-based blockchain startups. Bihan's doing the Web 2 to Web 3, and you guys are looking to branch out into the technical side of things. I think you guys probably have a few things you could talk to each other about.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to chat more. I mean, I think that we're all going to make it in education, like, especially on the developer side. An interesting stat I found was there's only like 30,000 Web3 developers, and there's over 12 million like mobile app developer, or 40 million mobile app developers or something like that. Just like crazy numbers. So the space needs more educators and more people like doing things. So happy to contribute or collaborate in any way possible.
Yeah, Bihan, I see you on mute. Did you have anything that you wanted to say?
Yeah, and the other thing is, Bennett, like a lot of people in the Web3 space, like I've seen this a lot. There's not like competitors out there. Everyone is like really good friends because we all need to collaboratively develop this space, right? So everyone works together for some goal. I've been in conversations with Farsa, who runs Build Space, and everyone is like so supportive, and I think that's like a really good thing in the Web3 space.
Yeah, completely agree with you.
Yeah, it's like I mean when I went to ETH Denver, I mean it just feels like a family, you know, like we're all part of this big family together, you know, blazing the trail and you know, being pioneers in the space, which I like to think of all of you guys as that. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting space to be in. I think developing the pipelines for talent is like a super important part of important part of this industry right now because you know we realize that this is an innovative industry, but the talent still needs to be developed. You know you don't just go 0 to 100 with no steps in between, right? So you have to develop those talent pipelines and be able to help facilitate the transition of talent from other industries or the creation of new talent, you know, from the ground up, or even, you know, in the case of like some of our non-education based startups that we have here, like Mathis or Pablo, who's outside the blockchain industry with his business. You know, Mathis in particular, you know, building innovative protocols. That's helping to build the foundational layer of the things everybody will interact with. So you know, we're here building the infrastructure, right? Yeah, so thanks for sharing all your origin stories and kind of like how you got into your businesses. I think that was really insightful. You guys had a lot of great things to say. I'm curious, like what do you? I'd like to hear from each one of you guys. What are you most excited about in the blockchain space? You know, what are you excited for in the future here? Don't all jump up at once, by the way. All right. Anybody?
I can go.
Thanks, Mathis.
There are multiple things. The first one being the technical, because I have a computer science background, so as a I would say the technical development of layer ones and what can we do with it, and how we can like accelerate really decentralized protocol in terms of scalability and yeah, what can we do with it? This is the first one. Also in terms of protocols, like so the first one being the layer ones, because I find it very interesting. The second one, the protocol in DeFi, I think there will be some drastic changes. DeFi is only 2 or 3. It's not how to look, where to look, sorry. And also the third one would be the real use case of blockchain, like, because I think that the ideal use cases of Satoshi, Vitalik, etc., explained in papers are not kind of here. There is a lot of like speculation on tokens, some meaningful projects, etc. So I don't think that's bad, because in every space at the beginning there is a lot of things like this, that the sector is growing very fast, so you can like surf the wave and try to make some money. But I'm waiting to see some like real changes in the society that blockchain, DeFi, etc. could do, and yeah, really excited to see all of these three things.
I could go next. So I'm actually a lot excited to see how like normal businesses would be changed in as per like crypto applications, because smart contracts can really change a lot of businesses that we see right now, a lot of consumer applications. So that is an opportunity for like all like students and everyone in the Web3 space out there to like recreate an entire industry or an entire consumer application. So that's something a lot exciting for me.
Anybody else want to talk about what they're most excited about? There's a lot of cool stuff going on. I know it's hard to pick just one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man, I'm generally just really excited about all the business opportunities that are arising. I know you and I, so Troy and I, we talk a lot about, a few businesses that we could start. We're always bouncing off each other. It's it's really changing the way that people interact with each other. It's opening new doors for practically every single domain, just revolutionizing everything. The decentralization that's possible, it's bringing power out of huge companies and putting it into people's hands. Now we don't really need a central unit anymore. We can all be part of the decision making. It's really democratizing. I'm not sure how to say it. Democratizing the world in a lot of aspects. It's really exciting, and like Bihan said, it's a very supportive space, and I love being part of something where everyone is just there for the well of everyone else, just trying to push that. Very feels like a family. It's a very nice space to be in. So yeah.
I can hop in there. Completely echo everything Pablo just said. I love the community and like the family, and I guess most excited for is to see this community grow. We're all doing kind of education content at our universities, just like reaching a wider audience and kind of like bridging that gap of, I don't know, what are the unknowns, like what are the actual use cases. Some like personal interests are like carbon credits on blockchain. And then also just to see how like DAOs and NFTs shake out, if we'll ever like kind of get to the real use cases of NFTs for licensing or housing, instead of just like this terrible narrative of like JPEGs and art. And then just kind of like DAO structures of, I don't like, for personally, I just like don't think that any DAO should be voting on proposals like for little things every week. So kind of figuring out a better hierarchy for the longevity of different projects.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that there. It kind of seems like when you start diving into the specifics, the specific state of kind of the different areas within blockchain, it becomes very apparent that although there's a lot of innovation happening, there's also so much more development that there is to come, with NFTs. Kind of like NFTs are, just as important as fungible tokens. Non-fungible tokens, are just as innovative as fungible tokens, but the public perception of them as just JPEGs is actually speaks to how much further there is to go in terms of integrating and developing NFTs to be able to achieve their true purpose of being unique digital assets in many different contexts. And then DAOs are a really interesting experimental organizational structure, and there's models from everything from, having a proposal on what type of coffee to make for the DAO in the morning to, big, to more centralized, not centralized, but the big decisions, the big capital allocations, and then kind of having delegated responsibilities for the minute or the minutia of the more individual, the smaller day-to-day things and operational in the operations of the DAO. Personally, I'm really excited to see what mainstream adoption of blockchains look like, and kind of how people are able to creatively abstract away the need to directly interact with these protocols, because that's how you get to 5 billion users. You get to 5 billion users whenever people don't even know that they're using a blockchain, but they're using a blockchain. So I think that's a really interesting thing that I'm going to be following closely. How people uniquely develop applications on top of this awesome kind of infrastructure that we're all building here together. Yeah, so thank you guys. Does anyone else, Noor or Cutter? I don't know if any of you guys want to say anything or ask any questions of your own.
This was awesome.
No, you pretty much. Oh, sorry, Nora.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Just wanted to give a shout out to UNF Blockchain Club for putting all this together. It's not easy coordinating between different speakers, especially with time zones, and it was really cool listening to what you guys are building. I'm also trying to build things in the space, and things are not out yet, so I couldn't talk about it, unfortunately, but I totally relate to everything that has been said, and I think the advice you guys gave was so valuable. So yeah, so happy to have platform for student entrepreneurs to talk to the community and share their experiences, because yeah, you guys are like the talent that is the future of the space. So this was awesome, guys. And yeah, shilling Bath once again, shamelessly. Please make sure to follow us on Twitter and fill out the form that we have in our Twitter bio to become a Bath member. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
was just
Nora.
gonna say that it was super awesome to hear about your guys' personal experiences as entrepreneurs and students, and it was super motivating to hear all your guys' stories about how you started out pretty much from nothing and worked your way up, and it was yeah, I'm just honestly on the same page as y'all, looking forward to the future. Super excited about the business opportunities. Great to hear from you guys.
Yeah, so I just noticed we have the Jacksonville Armada soccer club listening, which is pretty cool. Jacksonville's professional soccer team. So what's up to you guys? Yeah, so if anybody in the audience would like to ask any questions, we're gonna do kind of like a Q&A. Just request to speak or raise your hand, and I can bring you up. Now would be a great time for that. So. All right. Yeah, so anyways, so I guess
I have a question.
Okay.
Oh, are you guys hiring? Like, what's the action plan for people who want to work in any of the startups that were mentioned today?
Yes, as I said earlier, we will be posting this week. I think 6 or 7 jobs description on our Twitter. I think it's not live yet, but in few days there'll be 6 or 7 jobs description. So definitely follow Morpho Labs if you're interested.
And also, we are also looking for instructors in Solidity and Rust. So, I mean, if you guys are keeping up with my Twitter, you can find more information there.
Our company is kind of organic, so as people go through the programs, after you take the programs, you kind of come on and we'll pay you to be a coordinator. But we do have applications open for our Gateway to Algorand cohort too. I can put the link in my bio or just follow up with me after.
Oh, okay. So I see that we have a requested speaker. So I'm going to bring up Ruler of Terra to ask a question. Oh, okay. I'm not sure.
So what exactly languages? Like what sorts of things do I need to know in order to be hired? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
What kind of job are we talking about? Like, are you on business side or more development?
I am looking more towards development.
Yeah, I can speak somewhat to that. Like traditional skills matter, but I think ultimately companies are just looking for people that are passionate and curious and ask questions about the industry. Like a lot of hires on the technical side right now, people are just being put to work and have absolutely no idea what blockchain or crypto is. It's like being assigned work to do. So just like finding like your little niche in something you're interested in and being able to like dig down into that and just like explore it and be able to actively speak to it. That's what a lot of companies are looking for. Just someone that's like genuinely curious and active in the space.
Okay.
And you said you're on the technical side, right? The development side.
Yeah, I'm doing a program through Upgrad right now, and they're sort of teach me everything. Like they're teaching about like Polkadot, a little bit of Solidity, just kind of like everything. And I'm trying to figure out like how far I need to get into the program in order to actually get onto a job of some sort.
I think being fluent in any of the in-demand languages would take you miles in achieving that, and especially from the perspective of someone who's a technical talent. Becoming fluent in Solidity. A lot of blockchains use Rust, Solidity, Rust, Reach, are three off the top of my head. Learning how to test locally, deploy to mainnet, and then gaining that fundamental understanding like you already are of kind of how blockchains work. And then from there, just doing networking and reaching out. You'd be surprised how responsive a lot of the businesses in the space are, especially when you come at them, knowing one of the desired languages and stuff like that. So,
right. Suppose.
Yeah, and
yep, so
if I can give you an advice, for example, for Solidity. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I have my kids and everything, so multitasking. But if I actually wanted to develop like different things, like protocols and like things for like decentralized applications, like it's going to be easily facilitated through different companies.
I'm not sure. I caught you're jumping in and out of the connection there. I'm not sure what you were asking completely. Yeah, sorry, Terry, unable to hear you, but
use cases of cryptocurrency. And I don't. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were jumping. Your connection seems to be a little bit bad. It's cutting in and out. I think Mathis did have some advice he was going to give you in terms of one of your previous questions. I don't know if he still wanted to give that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was thinking that for Solidity,
okay.
like if you can show some thing that you have done, things that you have done, like concrete thing on your GitHub, not just like I followed these courses and these courses. Like if you can show some things, it's already really good, and yeah, show that you are passionate about the space, and company are really looking forward to good Solidity developers. So I don't think you will. I think you will find quickly.
All right, cool. Well, if there are no more questions, I think we can start wrapping it up. I know we're running a few minutes over the time. We did have, we had those technical issues at the beginning, but it seems like we had a lot of people show up. Had up 25, 30 people at one point. But anyways, yeah, just to kind of conclude, I want to thank you guys all for coming here today and sharing your unique experiences and telling us a little bit about your businesses and how you came up with that, and like what your journey into the crypto space was and things like that. So yeah, definitely have a lot of appreciation for you guys coming here today. And if there's anything else that you would like to share, or tell us how we can stay up to date with you and follow up with you, what the best way to do that is, I would love to hear.
Yes, and thanks Troy and Carter and Beth for organizing events like this, because these are the things that takes the industry forward. So, and if any of you guys want to like get in touch with me, always my Twitter DMs are open. So, and thank you.